But first up tonight, the question everyone wants to know. Why have so few South Africans been given the life-saving COVID-19 vaccine to date? With just over 1.5 million vaccines administered, we still lag far behind the rest of the world. Join our growing show chat using hashtag Carte Blanche on Twitter or comment on our Facebook page. Africa started vaccinating its elderly almost a month ago, but it's been painfully slow, and to date, less than 1% of our adult population has been fully vaccinated. Right now, we're vaccinating 80,000 people a day. This week, we crossed the milestone of 1.5 million vaccines administered, still way behind the rest of the world. Dr. 𝗃𝗃𝗏 is the Deputy Director General of Health in charge of the rollout. What do you say to those who say the present situation is unacceptable?
Yeah, well, it is unacceptable. That's why we keep working so hard every day. We have to be big boys and say that we accept that things are not going as well as we would have liked them.
Martin Kingston from Business for South Africa shares the frustration.
We're all frustrated at the fact that it hasn't moved quicker, and there are issues that are outside of our control, like, for example, the embargo that the FDA has placed on J&J. We've got 2 million doses of J&J sitting at the Aspen facility in 𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗴𝗶, which we're not currently able to use. So we had to pivot to Pfizer. And if we remember at the time, Pfizer wasn't necessarily an absolutely key focus because it was a 2-jab dose.
South Africa began vaccinating over 60s on the 17th of May at hundreds of sites around the country. Too late to mitigate against a deadly third wave. Gauteng is the epicenter, with the province currently recording over 5,000 daily infections. The race is on to vaccinate the most vulnerable. Go to sites like this one at the Alexandra Community Health Centre to get their jabs. As Gauteng DOH's 𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 explains.
In Gauteng, we have established 89 sites, and the majority of these sites are in the 3 metros, as that's where the high population figures are, Johannesburg, Tshwane, and Ekurhuleni.
So how many people a day does that relate to at the moment, and are you going to ramp up those figures?
We are currently working around 19,000 vaccinations a day. Just from the 17th of May, we have vaccinated over 200,000 people over the age of 60. Actually, they contribute 75% of the total number that we have vaccinated since the 17th of May. So it's a good turnout.
Bolstering the vaccine effort are a range of sites administered by the private sector, like this one at Discovery Place. Ryan Noach is CEO of Discovery Health.
We're doing about 2,200 to 2,400 a day. We're planning to increase the floor space here by a further third. So once we've achieved that, we should be well over 3,000 a day at this site. The Department of Health has procured all the vaccines for the country. Our site is designated as a Pfizer site. The Department of Health's preference was for the larger sites like this one to be Pfizer sites, the smaller, more rural sites perhaps to be Johnson & Johnson sites. The difference being the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a single dose only and also has lesser requirements from a cold chain perspective.
The Electronic Vaccination Data System, or EVDS, underpins the rollout. It's the only way that you can register to get vaccinated.
It's a vastly bigger system than people see in the public space. It is the system by which we follow every dose of vaccine and every communication with every person, right the way through to our accounting and our planning and our reporting to the Auditor General and to the public through Parliament on what we've spent your money on. We are getting all the planning information to watch what's happening at every site, every vaccination, and if something happens to you, we know what dose you got, of which vaccine, who gave it to you, when, where, and how.
With such a complex system, there were glitches when the rollout started. A Dis-Chem site was overrun because of an issue with the EVDS scheduler. National Clinic Manager 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 explains.
There was a few glitches. I mean, when we started off with the vaccine sites, I think from a private and a DOH side, we didn't know what to expect. So, and the scheduler wasn't open as yet, so we took walk-ins. The 25th and Mall of the South was a little bit of chaos. So the people was anxious to get the vaccine. We really tried to get their social distancing, and I do believe that we succeeded now.
Currently, only the elderly are eligible to be vaccinated, but there are reports of people trying to cheat the system. To test it, we sent our reporter with a hidden camera to several sites around Gauteng, starting in Randburg.
So then under 60s, nothing for us.
No, for now, remember it's like phases.
Yeah.
They started with like healthcare workers, essentials, because now they are coming to 60 and above.
It was a similar story at the Mall of the South.
So if I'm under 60?
No, under 60, no. Has to be 60 plus.
And above.
Yes.
In fact, he was turned away from every site he visited. Behind us are the lucky ones being vaccinated today, but with our rollout lagging so far behind the rest of the world, you can understand the frustration and fear of so many South Africans desperate for a vaccination and not sure when they're going to get it. One group particularly at risk are those under the age of 60 with comorbidities who will not be prioritized despite earlier promises. This has profound implications for 52-year-old Julian from Plato, who contracted a serious case of COVID last July. Asthmatic and with reduced lung capacity, he fears that if he gets it again, he'll die.
People that have underlying conditions should be eligible for a vaccination as well, because we have as much chance of surviving a COVID attack than a person over the age of 60.
The department tell us that comorbidities are just too difficult to monitor.
Look at me, I can't breathe. I've got 40% lung capacity. I mean, what more do you want? I'm with a pulmonologist. I've got from x-rays to medical reports to every single thing that they could possibly want to see under the sun. Why shouldn't I be vaccinated?
But a vaccination would make you one of the happiest people in the world.
Absolutely, because it'd give me peace of mind. I know a vaccination is not going to fix me, but a vaccination is going to prevent me from hopefully catching this virus again, and at least give me a chance of recovery. And that's all I want.
Sure.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah, it's pumps after pump after pump, unfortunately.
So as we head into the third deadly wave, we've got to ask, is the government's goal of herd immunity by the end of the year achievable or just wishful thinking?
If we are able to get our pipeline of vaccines restored, the providers, our public and private providers, are champing at the bit to gear up. They're telling us they are capable of more than doubling our current daily vaccinations and even gearing up beyond that.
So the original plan was to have vaccinated all the elderly by September. Our hope and our aspiration is that we beat that target and that we can finish vaccinating this phase of elderly and healthcare workers by August.
We're doing 80,000 a day at the moment. I'd like to think we'll be at 100,000 by the beginning of next week. We need to get to 250,000 to 300,000 a day, completely achievable. There's some 2,000 sites in the pipeline already to be approved through the process. That's over 7 million a month. 7 million a month gets us to 67% of the adult population before the end of this year.
Thank you for watching our stories here online, and please subscribe below to become part of our YouTube community and be notified when we upload our latest content.